We are your home theater and AV questions answered. This is AVRant. Want your home theater or AV question answered by Tom and Rob? Send it to question@avrant.com.
So, moving on to John W. asking some questions on Facebook. He heard us discussing Audyssey reference, aka movie, versus Audyssey flat, aka music. And based upon his own listening experience, he disagreed with our take. And again, I'm Lee, and I'm reading this.
That's
and it
right,
wasn't my take. He is starting with direct listening mode as his point of reference. He's using monitor audio silver speakers, so he's pretty sure it's not just a case of having crappy speakers to begin with. And that's true. When he starts with direct listening mode and then turns on Audyssey flat, the treble sounds louder. John feels that Audyssey flat is goosing the treble, and it's enough that it bothers him and he doesn't like using it. When we described the different Audyssey target curves, we made it sound as though Audyssey flat is the accurate one and anything else is rolled off in the treble. So what do we make of what he's experienced?
Yeah, so look, your ears are not lying to you, all right?
Right,
the treble,
right. You hear what you hear. That's 100% true. Yeah.
The treble very likely is louder when you switch on that Audyssey flat target curve. That's very frequently the case. Lots of speakers naturally roll off a little bit in the highs. If you're sitting slightly off axis from the speaker, any speaker eventually, as you go farther and farther to the side of dead ahead straight on axis, the treble starts to roll off in the frequency response. You'll see that in a measurement of almost any speaker. If the microphone position is altered, particularly in height with a lot of speakers, sometimes you'll get different measurements, and based on that, you'll get different EQ, target responses after the fact. There are lots and lots of reasons why the treble could genuinely be louder. I have no doubt that it is.
Oh, it is. Sure.
Yeah. And like I say, when they developed that Audyssey reference target curve, the one that is the default when you first run Audyssey, and it does include a slight high frequency roll-off, they didn't just pick that at random or by accident. They picked that because that's what the majority of people preferred.
Sure.
So,
but John is John. And if John doesn't like it, don't use it.
Yeah, no, I mean, what he's saying is he thinks that the flat target curve has a rise in the treble.
So he feels like it's going up.
Yeah, because he's starting with direct, and he figures that direct should be fairly flat to start, and then if the flat setting sounds louder in the treble, it must be on a rise. That's not necessarily the case. The direct setting, like I say, there's all kinds of reasons why that still might have a little bit of high frequency roll off. Sure. The mono audio speakers might have a little of their own. You're probably not sitting with them aimed right at your face, towed in so that they're pointed right at your ear. So you're probably a little bit off axis. And like I say, most people prefer a little bit of high frequency roll off. So I think flat still is flat. It was flat for wherever you put the measurement microphone. That's important because if you adjust the height of the measurement, you might actually get a different response. Another thing is, all of this is based on reference volume. So Audyssey flat is flat at reference volume, right?
Which is loud.
Then if you're activating dynamic EQ and turning the volume down, it's trying to keep things audible. All right. So, bass sounds that dropped below 65 dB, it's going to boost those back up to still be audible. Surround effects that became inaudible because they got too quiet when you turn the master volume down, it's going to boost those up. It might also boost up the treble a little bit with it set in that flat target curve. So maybe it is goosing a little bit. Maybe it's adding a little treble lift because you're not listening at full reference volume.
Right. Or to get it to what it thinks is flat.
That's right.
Is giving it a boost that he's then here. If you move your measurement microphone a little bit up or a little bit down, try it again, you could have different results.
You could get different results, yeah. So
maybe try it, 8 inches higher or 8 inches lower.
The basic thing is Audyssey flat is aiming for a flat frequency response at reference volume, all right? Mm-hmm. And it does a very good job of essentially hitting that. But what it sounds like to our ears is not necessarily pleasing. If you're listening below reference volume, it might sound a little bit too goosed. If you are just one of the majority of people who prefers a little bit of high frequency roll off, it's going to sound too bright to you. So I don't think we're in disagreement, but it's good to clarify that.
There you go.
Want your question answered? Send it to question at avrant.com. This is AVRant.
Now go out and listen to something.